Perfect. We are all set. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Sunday Sweat Club. I hope you've had a good week and you are getting ready for another exciting one. Today, I have an idea that's like a little bit different than what we've been doing. Our intention today is going to revolve around new beginnings. So a lot of times during New Year's, right, we're like, oh, I'm going to set a New Year's intention. I'm going to have this new beginning, and it might be a really big resolution that we set, and then maybe we set it and it works, or maybe we set it and it doesn't. So today is going to be a bit more about new beginnings, but I want us to think smaller, a little bit more achievable, right? And so before we even get started and get into our yoga pose, I'd like you to think about if there's something you've been looking to start doing. It can be really tiny, remember. Maybe it's just laugh more, right? Something you're looking to bring into your life. And then that will kind of be what we work around today. Today's class is going to be a little bit slower as well. I'd like to give some tips that I noticed in my public classes lately that I think will help everyone in terms of safety and modification. So we'll be talking about different kind of things you can take during class. And as always, I will encourage you to take what works for you. I'll give different levels. When you need a break, take a break. When you need water, take water. Okay? Great. We will get started today. Let's begin in a forward fold. So we haven't done this before, and I'd like to show the different options for a forward fold. So ideally we're seated, then reach under your butt, scoop the flesh out from under your sits bones. And then just, we say it like it sounds easy. You fold forward, head can relax, palms can be face up. Now, if this is a lot, and which for most people it is, especially really early in class, you can take a generous bend into your knees. And I mean really generous. Maybe you put the feet on the ground and then lay the chest and the head on the knees. Ideally, I would like your arms loose and relaxed. And then close your eyes and try to find some form of surrender in this position. We won't be here for too long. But the idea is really to allow your upper back, your chin, your head to fall forward. And if you are earlier in your day, you might notice that you have a little bit of tension in between your shoulder blades. That can often come from when we sleep on our back. So inhale. And then exhale, pull your belly button in. See how you can fold a little deeper. Again, inhale. Exhale, where can you relax and where can you surrender? Take 3 more breaths like this. As you inhale, drawing the air all the way into your low belly. And as you exhale, the diaphragm pulling in, so you fold a little deeper, release more through the head and through the jaw. Breath in. Maybe you can relax through the glutes. Feel your lungs expand, the back of your ribs expand. And breath out, head surrenders. See if you can get a little bit closer. Continue the breath. Relax the space between your eyebrows. Inhale. Exhale. On your next breath in, flip your palms down onto the ground so you can feel your mat, and then press the palms in so it'll lift you up slightly. First, I want you to round through your low back as much as you can, and then start to straighten up from your sacrum. Pull your core in, lift up through your mid back, and then eventually your shoulders and head will come high. Roll your shoulders back, and we are in a semblance of a staff pose. So you're seated high, either 2 feet on the ground with your knees bent, or your legs out in front of you, eyes closed. Inhale here. Exhale, sink your hands down and push them onto the mat. Now, you might need to walk your fingertips forward or might need to walk them backwards, but all I care is about the connection of the palm to the mat. Sit as tall as you can. Open the back of your neck. Tuck your chin. Take 5 of your slowest cycles of breath, engaging your core to pull your spine long and tall. As I mentioned, today is about new beginnings. And in yoga, as an instructor in particular, I often find it hard to remember what it was like to practice in the beginning. So today we'll do a similar flow. We'll get sweaty, I promise, but break things down a bit more. Get curious about how we're feeling and move a little bit slower, which coincidentally is actually a little bit harder. So as you inhale, with each breath, find yourself getting lighter. And as you exhale, feel yourself get more stable. We'll encourage this throughout class. Blink your eyes open. Inhale, sweep your hands high, palms face each other. And then exhale, sweep the hands down and back. And then bring your palms so you're imagining you're squeezing a beach ball behind your back. Reminder, you can have your knees here to start. But either way, the challenge is if you look at my spine, notice my spine is straight. We're not rounding forward, we're not rounding back. So try to find a way that can make the spine straight. Then lift the hands higher, squeeze that ball together, roll the shoulders back. Take a breath in. Exhale here. Inhale the hands high. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, roll yourself up, sweep your hands high, palms face each other. Exhale, sweep your hands down and back, find that beach ball once more. Inhale, sweep the hands high, palms face each other. Yes, we're doing a little flow now. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, roll yourself up, sweep your hands high, palms face each other. Exhale, sweep your hands back. Here we go, find the beach ball, and you'll hold here. So option 1, and notice even I'm cheating a little bit, I'm leaning forward, I need to re-straighten my spine. Option 1 is to just stay here with the shoulders rolling back, trying to keep the hands as high as you can. If, I mean, you're anything like me, you should definitely already feel this in your arms. Option 2 is you can take the clasp of your hands behind your back and then roll the shoulders back. 2 options. If you're taking the clasp, I want the heel of your hand pressed together. Both ways, the belly button is in and up, the crown of the head is towards the ceiling for 3. Push your heels down into the mat for 2. And 1. If you have the clasp or release, everybody inhale, hands high. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, roll yourself up, palms face each other. Exhale, hands come down by your sides. Kick your feet around. I'm going to take my little booties off because I'm already getting warmer. Kick your feet around and come to tabletop pose. So wrists under shoulders, knees under hips, and let's take a few standard cat and cow. So as you inhale, drop your belly, roll your shoulders back, look high. We're going to pause here first. So in cow pose, your arms should be straight. All 10 fingers push down into the mat. And then you find that roll the shoulders back, right? Slightly tilt the head back and open the throat. Now, we tend to dump into the low back. So instead of dumping, you can still have this bend, but I want your core to pull in, then push the tops of your feet down into the mat. See how that changes the pose. Perfect. Now you are in the most awesome cow ever. So take another breath in. Exhale, round through the spine, cat pose. How does this change? So the upper back is rounded, the mid back is rounded, and then if you can, try to tuck your pelvis. Pull the belly button in, push into all 10 fingers, and push into all 10 toes. 3, 2, and 1. Now with movement, drop your belly, roll your shoulders back. Inhale, Try to remember one or two of my 300 cues. Exhale, round through the spine, cat pose. Inhale, drop your belly, roll your shoulders back, cow. Exhale, cat. Inhale, come back to an even spine. Walk your hand one handprint forward. So I want you to notice, actually, let's do this instead. Take a seat back on your heels. You can either have your toes curled under or your toes tucked if it's more comfortable, or you can sit on your butt. Reach your palms out in front of you. So I want you to press your palms forward and then curl your fingers backwards as much as you can towards your forearm. So if you look at me, right, I'm trying to push my fingers back. And if you can see, my wrist goes almost a little past 90 degrees, but I'd like you to look at your own wrist and notice if it's maybe here at like a 45-degree angle, here, somewhere in here, and just be aware of how much you can bend your wrist back towards your forearm for 3. Push into the heel of your hand for 2. 1. Inhale, sweep the hands high, palms face each other. Exhale, come forward. Now, if you are the type of person that you find when we hold tabletop for a long time, your wrists start to hurt, it might be because you can't control this range of motion. When your hand is at a 90-degree bend, for example, if your hand is normally here, this is a lot on the wrist. So we have 2 options. Option 1, come to your tabletop, push your feet into the ground, and now push your fingertips down into the ground. So if you're in tabletop, I want you engaging through the hand to start to strengthen through the wrist. If this feels like a lot, here's the secret. Option is bring the hand forward and look, notice the angle of the wrist is less. So we're coming for less of an angle. You can always do your cat and cows here. Today, however, we're going to lean forward and then lean back, butt to the hips. Inhale, pull yourself up and forward. Exhale, back, push your fingertips down into the mat. Now, as you push, pull yourself forward, continue to push the fingertips down, inhaling. Exhale, back, butt back, push the fingertips into the mat. We keep this pressure, right? Inhale forward. And then exhale, walk your hands even further forward, start to reach your heart down to the mat. So this is called puppy dog pose. The butt stays high. Notice how my hip is in line with my knee is in line with my ankle, and then I reach the chest down to the ground. Maybe eventually I release the forehead to the mat or even the chin to the floor, gazing forward. Now, if you're here, this is fine, but the goal is to sink the chest down and release through the head and neck for 3, 2, breath in, 1. Exhale, push into the hands, lift yourself up, walk your hands back and come to a seat on your heels. Once more, inhale, sweep the hands high. Exhale, heel of the hand forward, push once more and see how much you can get your fingertips back towards your forearms. 3, 2, 1. Inhale, sweep the hands up. Exhale, walk your way to tabletop pose. Remember, you pick the angle. Curl your toes under, press up and back, downward facing dog. So for downward dog, there are a few options. Bend in your knees. Start with the bend in the knees and then tilt your tailbone up towards the sky. If your knees stay bent, that's fine, but what I care about is you push into the hands to push yourself away from the mat. And then at any amount or at any point, you can sink your heels down. But ideally, I would kind of like all of us to try to do down dog with a bend in the knees today and just feel how that changes the pose. Feel your quads fire up. 3, 2, and 1. Inhale, look forward. Since your knees are already bent, you can just continue to bend and tiptoe your way to the top of the mat. Forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back and hold here. Okay, so for our halfway lift, you might be here, 2 hands to the thighs, 2 hands to the thin shins, or 2 fingertips to the ground. This is really today, we're beginning, right? We're going to start looking at all of these poses a little bit more accurately, and then we'll put them all together. So your body's in a T shape. Rock your weight towards your toes. And then pull your core in. Breath in. Exhale, fold, Uttanasana, breath out. Inhale, come up, halfway lift once more. Find your version. And now that you're in your halfway lift, push your feet away from each other. So you're going to push your feet out to the sides of your mat, and you should immediately start to feel the hamstrings fire up as you hold for 3, 2, 1. Sit your butt back, take your arms wide, press yourself up to standing. Look at your thumbs. Exhale, hands to heart center, then hands by your sides, Tadasana. Breath in and a breath out. Inhale, sweep your hands high, look up. Exhale, fold forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. You've been here, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, plant your hands on the ground. So in order to plant them, you're going to have to bend really deep in the knees, find the plant, and then step your right foot back. Once you're here, wiggle your left foot out to the side until it's to the outside of your left hand. Lower your back knee down. So if you take a look, my foot is outside my hand. I'm in a nice low lunge. Untuck or tuck the toe. It's totally up to you. Once you're here, I want you to sink the hips down to the ground, roll the shoulders back, and notice my chest is pulling forward, right? So instead of kind of rounding, even if you're down here, even if you feel a little compressed, try to continue to pull through the chest. Shift the left hip back in space, pull the right knee forward, pull the left foot backwards, and we start to subtly engage in the underside of our pelvis, right? Our Uddiyana Bandha, our pelvic floor, can pull in and up. 3. Breath in and a breath out. 4, 2. Take one more inhale. One more exhale. On your next breath in, remember your hands might be forward a little bit to protect your wrists. Curl your back toe under. Come to your low lunge, back knee up off the mat. And then option 1 is you just step to the top of your mat and fold forward. Option 2, you might straighten through this front leg and then step, hop, 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 until you're there. Both feet to the center of the mat. Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Let's take it again. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, bend in your knees, plant your hands, big generous bend, step your right foot. Wait, no, left foot back. We don't want to do the same foot 2 times. Left foot comes back, and then I want you to wiggle your right foot out to the side of your right hand. Sink the back knee down, either tuck or untuck the hip. So we're hanging out here for a little bit. Push the pelvis down into the ground. Pull your right hip back in space. And first we surrender, roll the shoulders back, the chest comes forward. One of the reasons we're slowing down today, I'm going to try to distract you from your hips and talk here, is that in yoga, we often want to show off, which is really the antithesis of yoga, right? We want to be like, oh, what's the craziest pose I can do? What's the coolest thing? When instead, what we really want is to learn the building blocks so we can move into these poses safely. Because believe it or not, I, in the past, may have moved a little with ego and have injured myself. So today, the goal is to build so we can fly, right? Just like we do when we set our goals. Pull your right foot back. Pull your left knee forward. Pelvic floor in and up. Squeeze your inner legs together. Press into the hands for 3, for 2, and then 1. Curl the back toe under. Remember, we're in a big lunge, so option 1 is just somehow get to the top of the mat and fold forward. Option 2 is 1 hop, 2 hop, 3 hop, 15 hops until your foot comes to the center of your hands, and then you bring your right foot to meet your left, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, plant the hands, step back to plank pose. Now, knees up or knees down, it's up to you. All I care about is that you find the alignment of the wrist once more, right? This is a pain point for a lot of people. So you might have your wrist further forward. And here's a pro tip. If you're doing this with me, we're going to lower down together, either knees up or knees down. Ready? 3, 2, 1. If your wrists are further forward, it's way harder to do a push-up. So props to any of you that did it. Now inhale, lift up, baby cobra pose, hover the hands. Hold here, push into the tops of the feet, and then sweep your palms backwards. Palms will shine to the sky. So you notice we're doing a lot of chest, a lot of heart opening today. As you do this, can you ensure that your spine is long as you roll the shoulders back? Imagining it almost like a rainbow rather than bending at one point. Remember, the feet are still connected to the ground. Yes, we are still holding here. 3, 2, 1. Hands come by your sides. Hug the elbows in. Lower the head down to the mat. Breath in. And a breath out. All right, curl your toes under. Press yourself up, plank or tabletop. And then exhale back, downward facing dog. Reminder, if downward dog is too much or you ever need a break, you come to your tabletop pose and hold. Breath in. Breath out. Another breath in. And out. All right, inhale, look between your hands, bend in your knees, exhale, tiptoe to the top of the mat and fold forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sit your butt back, take your arms wide, press yourself up to standing, look at your thumbs, press the hands above the head. Exhale, hands to heart center, Tadasana. Great. Breath in and out. Bring your hands to your hips. So feel your hip bones connected to your fingertips. Then shift your weight over into your right leg. So we're going to move to crescent pose. You're going to step back 1 or 50 steps. It might look like this, right? Step your left foot back, 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 until eventually you're in crescent. Now, I'm going to have you do that again, and you're going to be mad at me. Step forward, 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 forward. Hands are on your hips. Close your eyes for a second and feel where your hips are in space. Now I want in your crescent pose, you're going to be exactly the same. The hips will be exact same spot, right? So shift your weight over to your right foot, step your left leg back, 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 until we come to crescent pose. The back heel is up off the mat. And then notice, like, of course, my left hip is way further back. Shift to change that so both hip points are facing forward. Now we sink into the front knee. Try to be at like a 90-degree bend. I know you're probably like, Madison, absolutely not, no way. Especially with how long we're holding today, right? Today is a slower class, but it doesn't make it an easier class. So once you're here, imagine your feet on railroad tracks, right? They're pointing forward. Now, you have 2 options. Option 1 is to push your feet away from each other, and notice as you push them away from each other, try it with me, you can do it. As you push away, it actually might become possible to sink a little deeper. Now we're going to do the opposite. Pull the feet towards each other. Pull, 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 up and in, and notice you might start to lift a little bit. We're going to do one more. Push away. So push the feet away from each other. Try to sink down low. Your hands can stay on your hips. And then pull the feet towards each other. Try to lift up, 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 up as you squeeze up and in. Gaze forward. Then lean and take 1 hop, 2 hops, or 3 hops and come to standing, top of the mat, Tadasana. Great. Breath in and a breath out. Shift your weight over into your left foot. Right foot is going to step. Remember, hands on the hip bones. Feel them pointing forward, step, 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 until you come to your lunge. Now pull, probably, unless you're a magician, pull your left hip back in space. Find the hip points evenly forward, right? Then we can start to sink down slightly, and let's just hold here for a second. So whenever I tell you to pull your feet towards each other, anytime in class, any class we do, that also means your pelvic floor should pull in and up. For women who have had babies, great activity to do. For the rest of us, also great, because we want a strong pelvic floor when we're moving, when we're lifting. So First, we push our feet away from each other. Push, 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 push. Notice that you might sink down a little deeper. And then now pull, pull, pull the feet in. Remember, pelvic floor in and up, and maybe you rise up. You should be shaking as you do this. Maybe you're not pulling hard enough if you're not. Exhale, push, 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 push the feet away from each other. Keep pushing, 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 pushing. Imagine you're in a gym. We're strength training. Exhale, pull, 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 pull together. Lift up. Oh yeah, that hip flexor. Now look forward. Bend in the back knee. 1 step, 2 step, or 3 steps. Come to the top of the mat. Hands by your sides. Tadasana. Breath in. And a breath out. Inhale, sweep your hands high. Look up. Exhale, fold forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Now, wiggle your feet out to the side. So make your feet about as wide as your mat. And you're going to be folding in between them and just sway side to side. Grab for opposite elbows and come to ragdoll. This is a different ragdoll variation. Your head is heavy. Breath in. And a breath out. Inhale, back to center. Release the hands down towards the ground. Your head is really heavy. Inhale, half lift. Your hands might be on your shins. Maybe they're on your thighs. Exhale, fold, bend in your knees, really generous. So we have a huge generous bend in the knee and your butt comes back to 90 degrees. So take a look at me. My hands are on the inside of my feet. My elbows are hugging into my triceps. My butt is back. If this is too low for you, you can do this here. All I care about is that we have the alignment of the knees into the shoulder, the hands press on the ground. Now, where are we going? We are going to step our right foot back. And then we'll be in that same low lunge we were in earlier. But before we move, yes, I'm going to keep talking. You're going to keep holding this. Before we move, we have a strong foundation, right? Your left foot is going to be super strong. Your hands on the ground. Take a breath in. As you exhale, maybe lean and try to step your right foot back. Anyway, don't worry, there's no wrong way to do it. You're just planning right in advance. Then lower the back knee down, come to your low lunge. Untuck your foot. Roll your shoulders back, pull your chest forward. Breath in, hug the knee into the tricep. Breath out. Another breath in. And out. Inhale, curl the back toe under. Lift up through the hips. Now you're going to go back to the same pose we were just in with both feet to the outside of your hands. Option 1 is to step them both up there. Option 2, you might hop, hop, hop. Be like, Madison, what are we doing today? And then come back into this slow squat. I know this is a lot. I'm not going to make us hold it here for too long. Press your hands into the ground. Then shift your weight over into your right leg. Left foot steps back. Lower the back knee down. Untuck. Take a little time. That was fast. I know. Then hug the knee into the tricep, right? So we have that knee hugging into the midline, push the hips down, roll the shoulders back, pull the chest forward, and we breathe for 3, for 2, and 1. Breath in. Curl the back toe under, lift the hip, breath out. Inhale, look forward. Where are we going? We're stepping our left foot to the outside of the left hand. So you might take 1, 2, 3, 5, 7 hops, or 1 big hop, and then come to a yogi squat. Hands can be at heart center. Now, maybe some of you are sighing in relief, like, oh my God, thank God we're sitting back. Maybe some of you are like, what? This is so awful because your yogi squat is up here. So the deal is that we're all going to lift up, everybody together. We all lift together, so we're all in a high yogi squat. Pelvic floor in and up, hug the knees into the elbows. 3, 4, 2, 1. Come to standing, lift up, reach the hands high. Exhale, hands by your sides, Tadasana. Bring your feet together. Close your eyes. Take your left hand to your heart, your right hand to your low belly. Come back to your intention. New beginnings, what's one thing you would like to start doing as soon as we're done with class today, or maybe right now? And when we think about setting these goals, right, these little intentions, sometimes we fail when we set the big ones. And the main reason is because we miss the building blocks. We miss all the little steps that are going to take us to our goal. So reflect on your goal briefly. What are you going to start doing? And if it's too big, maybe you need to pare it down a little bit. What are the steps you are going to take to reach this goal, to start doing this thing? Because, guys, it's never as easy as starting, is it? Breath in. Exhale, hands by your sides, breath out. All right, let's flow. Inhale, sweep the hands up, look up. Exhale, fold forward, heart center, all the way down. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, plant your hands and we step back to plank or tabletop pose. Then we'll lower down to our belly together, nice and slow, no rush. Let's take it 4, 3, 2, 1. Great work. Inhale, baby cobra or up dog. You're welcome to come into up dog. If you're in up dog, roll the shoulders back, chest forward. Exhale, everyone lower down together. Now walk your hands forward and make a triangle like a diamond with your hands and rest your forehead on your hands. So your forehead will come into the hands to rest. I'm going to keep my head up so I don't scream into the mic the whole time, but your head's down. Shift your weight over into your left leg. And you're like, what do you mean, Madison? I mean, push your left foot down into the mat and reach your right foot high. So right foot is going to come towards the ceiling, but your leg is straight instead of bent. Once you're there, can you try to push more into the left foot? Simultaneously squeeze through the right glute and lift even higher. Option 1 is to hold here and breathe because this is a lot. We're at our end range. Option 2 is to make little baby circles in one direction. And then we make little baby circles in the other direction. I hope you liked my song. I'm sure you enjoyed it. Now lift, squeeze, and release. Right foot comes to the ground. Sigh in relief, right? Then shift your weight over into your right foot. That means we press the right foot down into the mat. We squeeze through the right quad, lift the left foot up towards the ceiling with the leg straight. So your glute is squeezing in. Your foot is lifting high. You're going to try and get as high as you can, press the right foot into the ground, and notice as you press that right foot, it should actually allow you to lift the left foot higher. Squeeze through the glute and then make tiny little circles. Or you stay and hold and breathe. 3. Switch the direction now. 2. Tiny, tiny. Like imagine they're the smallest circles you've ever made. Push into the right foot. 1 and release both feet down to the ground. Relax your whole body. Breath in. And out. Walk your hands back by your sides as you lift your head up. Hug your elbows in. Press yourself up, plank or tabletop. Exhale back, downward facing dog. Breath in. And a breath out. Remember, we might have a generous bend in the knees today. Breath in. And out. Inhale, look between your hands. Exhale, tiptoe one toe at a time, top of the mat, fold forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift once more, and I'm going to do something I haven't done before, and this might cause a bit of a scramble in your house, in your home, but I want you to come find something in your room that can support your hands in a semblance of a halfway lift. So you might be here, if you take a look, this would work on the couch. This would work on a chair. I just want you to find somewhere that your hands can be supported with your torso, either here, 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 anywhere in this angle. Right? I'm going to give you a little bit longer. Don't worry. We're going to find it. If you're rewatching this at home, you can simply pause the video and then go find your thing and come back. Another option I have is over here, right? And I think this might be the best angle for you to view at, actually. So what do we think? I'm going to trust that you guys did it. You scrambled, you moved. If you didn't, you can come into it as soon as I can. or as soon as I start, or you can, shift your weight over into your left leg once you're here. And I want you to push your hands down into the mat, then reach your right foot back. So you've got your right foot reaching, just like we did on the ground. Now start to lift it up as far as you can as you push your hands into this object. Left leg is super strong. Pull your left hip back in space. So this is essentially like we're working on a supported warrior three. Now that you're here, start to make little small circles. If you could not find a prop, you could totally do this with both hands on the ground if you have the range here. But if you have a prop, I want you to find the connection of the hands and continue making the circles. 3, 2, 1. Switch the direction. Strong in the standing leg. I don't know about you, but my left glute is like, what is happening? What are we doing? 3, 2, 1, and release. Both feet together. Breath in and out. Shift your weight over into your right foot. Find that stretch. Here we go. You can see this one. Here's a new angle. And then reach your left foot up and back. So if you notice, as soon as I lift, my low back starts to bend a little. I want you to counteract that by pulling the core up and in. Because once we take away the hands, you're going to need the core to support you, right? So to start, pull the core up and in, reach the foot, and then we draw little circles. I always like to imagine an orange. But if you want to imagine a marble, that's even better. We're gaining, you might be like, why are we doing any of this? So what we're working on now is end range control, your proprioception. How can you move in space really precisely? Switch it and go to the opposite direction. 3. Almost there. 2. Pull the core in, and 1. Release, both feet together. Come to standing. Move your prop if it's on your mat. And come back to the top of your mat, hands by your sides, Tadasana pose. Breath in. And a breath out. We're going to create a weird flow with this. So stick with me. I feel like people are like, oh, we're already nervous. And then if it doesn't make sense the first time, we're going to do it twice. So you have a chance to move with it. So big toes touch, sliver of space between your heels. Inhale, reach your hands high, palms face each other. Exhale, fold forward, hands through heart center, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sit your butt back, sweep your arms wide, press yourself up to standing, look high. Great, easy, you've been here, right? Exhale, hands to heart center. Shift your weight over into your right leg. Your left knee will come up to a 90-degree bend. Reminder, you can always come to the wall if you're working on balance, but ideally you fall out, you fall in, great. We are going to move to our warrior three, what we just did supported, except maybe without the supports. Option if you're like, no, I'm going to need the support, you can bring your hands back to your supportive system, but I'd like you to try to make the balance as you sweep the left leg back and come to warrior three. So this might be your warrior three today. Hands are at heart center, right? Maybe you come forward, but remember the cue, the core, see, I almost fell over, core is in, and then the foot is lifting until we have about this T shape with our body. But at the same time, the shoulders roll up and back. So you have a bit of an up dog in the chest, like kind of like you're a Superman flying through the air. Now, hold, breathe. 3, 2, 1. Bring your toe down to the ground and then step back, back, back. We're in our crescent pose, hands to the hips, just like we did before. So first, take a breath in. Exhale, push your feet away from each other, come down. Inhale, pull the feet together up. Exhale, push away, come on down. Inhale, feet together, up. Exhale, push away, push away, push away, push away. Get lower, 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 lower. Then reach your hands forward and bring your palms to the inside of your right foot. So you're going to need to wiggle the right foot out to the side. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. And look, you guys have been here before. How did we do that? Magic, that's how. Now, stay low, option to bring the knee down, and then pull the feet together. So fire up through the inner line of your legs, Pelvic floor in and up. Push into your hands, round through the upper spine for 3. You got it. 2, pull the feet, pull the feet, pull the feet. And 1, shift your weight over into your right leg, shift yourself to the right, and then try to step your left foot, maybe 1, maybe 2, maybe 30 hops to the outside of the hands. Sit low into a yogi squat. This time, if you can get low, you can sit low for 3, hands to heart center. 2, 1, push into your feet, hands raise high and launch yourself all the way to the sky. Look at your thumbs. Exhale, hands to heart center, toes touch, hands by your sides, Tadasana. You survived. That was one side. Great work. Breath in. And a breath out. So this time, you know that you can use your props. You might know a bit more how it's going to go. So you could use the table, you could use anything for the balance in Warrior 3. Shift your weight over into your left leg. Wait, right leg. Left knee. No, right. Yes. Okay. Left leg, right leg comes up. There we go. That's why I spun around this direction so you can see my legs. So first we find knee in the hip, knee in the ankle. Normally I have students to be like, it's the other leg. All right, here we go. So hands can come to the hips, find your balance, and then start to tick-tock forward, lean the foot back. Maybe the foot starts with the hover on the ground. Then you start to lean and lift, coming to your Warrior 3. Notice when you start to dump into the low back, pull the core in and up, roll the shoulders back, chest comes forward, pull the left hip back in space. Strong through the standing leg. 3. Chill in your face. If you fall out, you come back in. That's how we learned for 2. And then 1, bend in your knee and step yourself back. Crescent pose. Pull the left hip back in space, sink down. Now, take a breath in. Exhale, push the feet away from each other. See if you can come lower. Hips point forward, remember. Inhale up, squeeze the legs in. Exhale down, push. Inhale up, squeeze the legs in and pull. Exhale, push, 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 push. Inhale up, squeeze. Exhale, push, 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 and then reach your hands forward. They come to the inside of the left foot, wiggle the left foot out to the side, sink the hips down. Either knees up or knee down. And then pull your left foot forward, your left foot back, right foot forward. I'm having trouble with sides today. Push the hands down into the mat, round through the upper spine. Why round through the upper spine? Because that means we're supporting ourselves with our hands as we squeeze in for 3, 2, 1. Shift your weight over to the left, and then you're going to take maybe 1, 30, 40, 50 hops until your right foot is on the right side of your left hand. Come to your yogi squat, sit low, hands at heart center. Breath in and out. Another breath in and out. All right, push into your feet. Inhale, reach your hands high, launch yourself up to standing. Look at your thumbs. Exhale, hands by your side, Tadasana. Feet together, close your eyes. Inhale. Exhale. Before we move, we're going to do one more side each time, and then we're laying down on our mat. That's it. So, but think about what we're actually doing. We're doing 3 poses. We're doing our Warrior 3, our high lunge or crescent, and then we're doing our lizard pose, which is that low lunge with the back knee or the back knee up or down. And that's pretty much the main part of the sequence. Then we come to your yogi squat, but that's resting. So when we think of it broken down, right, that's how we think of our goals. So come back to your intention. See if there's any further breaking down you can do to start doing this thing that you want to start in your life, our new journey, right? Our new intention. Breath in and a breath out. Don't worry if you didn't think of anything yet. You'll have more time to reflect before Shavasana. Let's do it, guys. We can do it. So feet together, hands by your side, Siddhasana. Remember, you're welcome to use the props to support yourself with your hands. Inhale, shift your weight over into your right leg. Left knee comes up, 90-degree bend. This round will be faster, blessedly faster, I promise. Breath in. Exhale, start to sweep the leg back. Come to your warrior three pose. Hands can come to the hips, or maybe they fly behind you. Ooh, and if you fall over, come back in. Pull your left or your right hip back in space. Lift the foot high. Roll the shoulders back. Chest comes forward. Breathe and hold. 3, 2, and 1. Bend into your right knee. Step yourself back. High lunge pose, right? Here's pose number 2. Breath in. Exhale, push your feet away from each other. Sink. Inhale, pull the feet in, up. Exhale, push, sink. Inhale, pull up. Exhale, push, sink, sink, sink. Hands come forward, reach, and then place your hands to the inside of your foot. Wiggle your right foot out to the side. Breath here. Exhale, pull the feet together. Feel them squeeze. I want the inner thigh firing up, round through the upper back. Now, while we try to keep the pressure of the hands, you're going to look outside of your left hand and try to just step the left foot forward, sit into a yogi squat. Breath in. Exhale, hands to heart center, breath out. Inhale, push yourself up to standing. Look high at your hands. Exhale, hands to heart center, feet together, Tadasana. Breath in. And a breath out. Shift your weight over into your left leg. Your right knee bends 90 degrees. Here we go. Next side. Inhale. Exhale, tick-tock back. Warrior three pose. Pull your left hip back in space. Hands can come to your hips. Find the balance of the hip, right? This biofeedback we get from our hands is really awesome because it can tell us where we are in space. Try to lift the foot higher, roll the shoulders back. And then remember, we have to breathe. Breathing is a little important. 3, 2, and 1. Step yourself back into your high lunge. Inhale here. Exhale, push your feet away from each other. See if you can get a little lower. Inhale, pull the feet together. Pelvic floor in and up as we lift. Exhale, push the feet away. Down, 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 down. Inhale, pelvic floor up and in as we lift. Pull the feet together. Exhale, push away, push away, push away. Now, we're low. Reach the hands forward, and then hands come to the inside of the left foot. Wiggle the left foot out to the side. Knee up or knee down, I don't care. Pull your left foot backwards, right foot forward, squeeze up and in, round through the upper spine as you push the hands into the ground. 3, 2, and then 1, look outside of your right hand. Try to just step your right foot to the outside of your right hand. Sit your butt back. Yogi squat. Now, for those of us who are low, we're going to do one thing. If your butt is up pretty high or you have any limitations in your ankles, I'd like you to just come to a seat. So just come sitting down on the mat. There's no special way to do it. Option 2, if your butt is nice and close to the ground like me, you can just plop yourself back and then we'll all meet in Navasana pose. I said we were going to lay down, so we are going to lay down, but in a fun way. So feet come out, roll the shoulders back. Remember, notice my spine. This is not what we want. We want this. Pull the chest and heart through, point through the toes. 3, 2, release the hands if you can. 1, start to straighten the legs, straighten, straighten, straighten. Roll through the low back, the mid back, the upper back, hover the feet, hold here, shoulders still off the mat, and then release everything down. Hands come above your head, wiggle your hips side to side. Just like you're taking a giant morning stretch. Breath in. And a breath out. Another breath in. Maybe open mouth exhale, let it go. All right, right knee comes into the chest. This time you can use your hands and give that bad boy a squeeze and then switch it over to the left side. Come to an easy, easy twist. I find it funny that we call it an easy twist, but often these twists don't feel as easy as we want. So, another opportunity to break this down a little. When I move into my twist, I like to lift my left hip up and bump it under. It allows my pelvis to be a bit more twisted. And then I'm able to get deeper into the pose as I eventually gaze over to the right side. If your knee is kind of just like hovering in the air, you can always support it with a block or a bolster, or just let that bad boy hang there. This side is apparently our bad boy, right? And allow it to get closer and closer to the ground with every exhale. Inhale, spine lengthens. Exhale, twist. Inhale, imagine your spine growing longer. Where can you surrender as you exhale? Twist. On your next inhale, make your way back to center. Even out your hips. So take a moment, maybe both feet on the ground. And then you can feel, yep, my hips are even. Then stretch the right leg long. Left knee comes into the chest. Give it a squeeze. And then we'll take the left knee over to the right. But maybe you want to kind of push into your right foot and bump your right hip under. And you'll find more of a twist. Then once you're there, reach the hands long. And remember, the knee hovering is okay because with every exhale, you'll allow the spine to somewhat surrender and twist. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist and surrender. If your mind starts to wander, bring it back to this wave of breath. Inhale. Last moment of surrender here. Exhale. Where can you release? Inhale, bring yourself back to center, even out your hips, both feet onto the ground. And then reach your hands down by your sides, press your fingertips into the ground. Inhale, lift your hips to the sky. Let's just take a baby bridge pose. So nothing too crazy. If you're really craving something deeper, you can clasp your hands under your back and shimmy the shoulders in. But since we're cooling down, this is also just kind of an opportunity to see, counteract the spine. We've twisted. Now we'll lift and then breath in. Exhale, lower the spine down one vertebra at a time from the top of your spine. So this is a spinal wave all the way to the bottom. I want you to push them in one vertebra at a time. It might take you a little bit until eventually your low back and your sacrum are the last things to come to the ground. Draw one knee up towards the chest and then the other. Then reach your hands to the outside of your feet with your arms to the inside of the legs. Happy baby pose. Option to straighten through one leg, maybe straighten through the other. Sway side to side. Or feel free to come to stillness and just pull the hands down. Feel the shoulders be heavy. Breath in. And a breath out. Can release your feet. Wrap your hands around your shins, lift your shoulders up and try to push your forehead into your knees. Hug yourself into a baby little tiny little ball. 3, 2, And then one, explode out into your Shavasana. Reach your feet long, your hands by your sides with your palms face up. Feel free to grab any props you might need, maybe a sweater, maybe some socks if it's cold where you are. And then before you fully release into the mat, remember to wiggle your jaw, relax through your jaw, wiggle your shoulders, wiggle your hips. And then come to stillness. Breath in. Open mouth exhale, let it go. Again, breath in. Open mouth exhale, let it go. Last time, breath in. Open mouth exhale, release. Close your mouth and surrender to Shavasana. Every minute of every day is an opportunity for a new beginning. So I ask you, what is one thing you are going to start doing after this class? And more importantly, what are the steps, the building blocks, the small little movements that you will take to start doing this one thing? Sometimes we get so focused on our goals that we only look at the end result. But every movement, every shift, everything you do to get you toward your goal is worth celebrating. Take a deep breath in and a gentle sigh out. Wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, rock your head side to side. And eventually, allow your movements to get a little bigger. And then roll over onto your favorite side using your arm as a pillow in fetal pose. Take a moment here to thank yourself for showing up for class, for making time for you. And then press yourself up to a comfortable seat facing any direction. Once you're there, find that long, tall spine that we started class with and bring your hands to heart center, thumbs to your sternum, or maybe two hands over your heart if that feels more authentic to you. We'll finish with our breath in unison. So inhale, fill up your lungs. Open mouth, exhale, let it go. Again, inhale. Empty the lungs, exhale. Last time, breath in. Open mouth, exhale, let it go. Two thumbs can come to your third eye, center of your forehead, and maybe put a smile on your face. Thank you all for joining me. Happy Sunday and happy week. Namaste.